Hello, guys, and welcome here to yet another episode of Out of Turn 4. Boy, it was a fun weekend over at Martinsville, and I'm telling you, after seeing highlights, after seeing interviews, next year I want to go to Martinsville. Okay? Plain and simply, I want to go to Martinsville next year, man. I'm telling you, I need to start saving money for this trip. Please. This has got to happen at this point. And I don't mean the spring race. We're not going to that one. I mean the playoff race in October. Man, I got my eyes set on that. We are going to talk about that in just a moment, but also coming up on the show, we got a lot of F1 news. F1 driver news and team news as well. And then, of course, we'll be making our championship and race predictions over at Phoenix for next weekend. But let's get started with NASCAR at Martinsville. Of course, we'll start off with the Truck Series. Zane Smith has won his way into the Championship 4. It is his first win of the season, and keep in mind, his future is uncertain at this point. He has no plans set for 2022. This definitely helps him, and I'm telling you, if there's ever a point where this was a career-saving race, this was it for Zane Smith, okay? Now, here's the thing. I will backtrack that if he wins at Phoenix, okay? If he wins at Phoenix next week, I will backtrack that statement, and actually, I'll actually say that again next week when we have our final show of the season. So, Zane Smith had a career win right there. I mean, it's his first win this season, but it was the biggest of his career. I think it was a career-defining win because, again, his future's uncertain. We don't know if GMS is going to bring him back. We don't know if he's going to land elsewhere. I thought maybe he'd be a candidate for an Xfinity ride next season. I know he hasn't been as good as Sheldon Creed has been. Of course, this year was kind of ruled by John Hunter Nemechek. And, it's unfortunate. I mean, Eckes even won a race. Todd Gilliland had a strong year. There were just guys that broke out, and it really kind of took from Zane Smith. It really, it just wasn't his year. I think he should get one more year, because I think if he gets one more year in the Truck Series, he will have a breakout year. Maybe he goes to KBM to drive the 18. I don't think that'll happen, but maybe he goes to Nice Motorsports. That would be a career-ending move, but hey, something to consider. But the big highlight of the race, of course, keep in mind, so Ben Rhodes, Matt Crafton, John Hunter Nemechek will all be joining Zane Smith in the Championship 4 next week at Phoenix. But it wasn't without controversy, of course. John Hunter Nemechek pushed Austin Wayne Self out of the way, and Austin Wayne Self didn't appreciate that, and he decided to take matters into his own hands and basically commit murder on John Hunter Nemechek entering turns 3 and 4. And I have long said, don't interfere with the playoff race, But, and I will be talking about this again in a few minutes, of course, after the Cup race. But, Austin Wayne Self should be penalized for this. That was uncalled for. I get retaliation, but, I don't think he should be suspended. I think he should be fined for the incident. Because John Hunter did make the Championship 4 at the end of all this, but, he could have very well missed it. And I think if he missed it, he should have been suspended, because at the end of the day, that fell in his lap. Total lack of awareness for Austin Wayne Self. Again, Austin Wayne Self's an idiot to begin with, so just thought I'd throw that out there. I didn't agree with the move, but I'm glad John Hunter moved forward, because it would have been a shame to see the best guy miss out on the Championship 4. He's been the strongest truck all season long, so glad to see that he gets in. Another big surprise winner, Noah Gragson. He wins at Martinsville to advance to the championship four in what looked like, once again, and we say this almost every week, it looked like a chance for Daniel Hemrick to finally get his first win. And of course, some blunder just gets in the way once again, takes it away from him. The late restart kind of took it from him. So Noah Gragson gets his third win of the season. He will be in the championship four. However, Daniel Hemrick will be racing for the championship. He does have a chance to win at Phoenix, so there is that possibility. Of course, he will be joined. Those two will be joined by the two guys that have run the series this season in Austin Cindric and AJ Allmendinger. Keep in mind, those two have kind of ruled the season. Boy, if Daniel Hemrick gets a win, there are going to be some upset people. Oh, I got to say, there are going to be some upset people if he wins it. I'll have my predictions soon on all that, but not much controversy in the Xfinity race compared to the Trucks and the Cup Series, which is why I say I want to go to Martinsville, and I'm going to keep saying it all show. I want to go to Martinsville next year for this race. Xfinity 500 was on Sunday, and of course, per usual, in October, something happens with Denny Hamlin where he either blows a fuse or he gets involved in controversy of his own. And no different here. Alex Bowman, the showman, he is the winner at Martinsville Speedway. He pulls off a big upset on the playoff drivers. It is his fourth win of the season. Again, career year for Alex Bowman, a career-defining year for Alex Bowman. Many probably thought he would be out of Hendrick Motorsports pretty soon because he doesn't have much backing. Again, career-defining win for him. The more he keeps winning, the better it looks for him. But unfortunately, he is not in the championship four. And, of course, the controversy. If you remember a few years ago, Chase Elliott was on his way to winning at Martinsville and making the championship four in the 24 car when he drove over in that ride before William Byron. So, of course, again, Denny Hamlin dumped Chase Elliott, to which Chase Elliott confronted him after the race. Kind of got him back at Phoenix before the championship at Homestead. You know the full story. And then, of course, Denny Hamlin tried to defend it. He defended his action. Well, the same thing just came back to get Denny Hamlin, because Denny Hamlin got wrecked the exact same way that Chase Elliott got wrecked by Hamlin a few years ago. And needless to say, Hamlin took it like the poorest sport I could ever see on the face of the earth. He absolutely interfered with every aspect of the burnout, gave William Byron Alex Bowman the double bird, and basically acted like a giant man-child. Typical of Denny Hamlin, basically. So, again, you may be saying, well, Brian, you just said a few minutes ago that Austin Wayne Self was in the wrong. Why are you flipping script here? Karma's a bitch, and let's put it that way. Denny Hamlin has had this coming for a while now. He likes to race dirty, and I know Bowman says he didn't intentionally do it. But what I will say is, if you've seen my Twitter, again, at Tinkle_B Hummel. That's my Twitter, but of course follow us at social media at Tinkle Sports. I said, so what I took offense to was Denny Hamlin called Alex Bowman a hack for the wreck. Basically said he's a hack. Now, Denny, I don't know if you recall what happened at Martinsville about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. But let me refresh your memory. You did the exact same thing to Chase Elliott, and you defended that move, saying it was the right thing to do, and it was a chance to go to Homestead. Now, granted, Alex Bowman is not in that situation to go to Phoenix for the championship. But what I will say is that you get what karma has a strange way of working itself. And I'm sorry, karma got you in the ass this race, okay? You had this coming for a long time, Denny. And if anyone is the hack, you're the hack. And actually, hypocrite would better describe you, Denny, because, again, you did the same exact thing to Chase Elliott. You've done the same thing to other competitors on the track, and you've defended it. Okay, you have defended it every single time, saying that you were in the right. This time, yes, Bowman wasn't in the right. But what I will say, again, karma got you today. And karma got you this past weekend. So take it or leave it right there. But, I do see what Bowman did wrong, but I will tell you that karma got him. And certainly Bowman should also, again, if this was intentional, Bowman should face some sort of penalty. But, again, it didn't affect Hamlin. He still got in the championship 4, which he'll probably lose next week. But, again, I don't want to jinx it, and I don't want to hear "I told you so" if he does win it. So, again, Hamlin, Larson, Chase Elliott, and Martin Truex are in the championship 4. Should be exciting. It'll be on Sunday. I will be working during it, so I won't be able to watch it, and I'm kind of disappointed. So my thoughts on the race again. I want to go to Martinsville next year. I'm telling you, I'm loving these fireworks late. I got to figure out a way. I'm going to do whatever I can to get down there next year. I have to. Oh boy. All right. On to the silly season news, and this is some big ones. So I hope I pronounce his name right. Daniel Kvyat, let me just see. It doesn't even tell me how to pronounce it. So, but I'm going to say Daniel Kvyat, I'm just going to go with that. So, he is exploring the possibility of going NASCAR racing in 2022. This is huge because, let's face it, a lot of F1 drivers love to go to IndyCar. It seems like that's been the trend lately. Roman Grosjean, Nico Hulkenberg wants to go over there. Magnussen ran a race over in IndyCar. He wants to race there now. Felipe Nasser, the last few years, has wanted to run IndyCar. We can even go as far to say Max Chilton was a former F1 driver. Alexander Rossi. Even Alonso dipped into IndyCar. The list goes on, but it seems like that is the trend now. That IndyCar or F1 drivers want to go to IndyCar. It's refreshing to see an F1 driver want to take on NASCAR. Do I think it's the right move? By no means, because it's a completely different type of racing. And, I think it's good for Kvyat to want to expand his racing resume. And NASCAR is trending more toward the road courses, so it will benefit him in some ways if he goes over there. Again, Kvyat, a longtime AlphaTauri and Red Bull driver. He is currently a reserve driver over at Alpine Racing. Personally, I don't see him getting a cup ride next year. It seems like the cup is pretty full for next year. So what I could see happening is a potential NASCAR Xfinity Series ride. Not a high up one. Unfortunately. Maybe Our Motorsports gives him a couple races. Maybe Sam Hunt Racing gives him a couple races. I think teams like that will certainly explore having Daniel Kvyat in the ride for road courses. I don't see anyone else. Junior Motorsports is packed full. Maybe there's the possibility, and this is a very slim possibility, but maybe there is the possibility that KBM or Joe Gibbs Racing explores him for the All-Star car. But I think that, again, that's a slim to none chance, Same with Team Penske. So I would lean more toward one of the Sam Hunt Racing teams or Our Motorsports. I think those are more than likely a possibility for him, and a higher possibility if he's going to run than it will be in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I don't see him running any higher than that next year. So again, I think NASCAR Xfinity is a safe bet, and for Kvyat, I think he could find success there. I mean, look at what Sage Karam has done. Again, Sage Karam, a former IndyCar driver himself. Santino Ferrucci has done okay in that transition. He hasn't been stellar by any means, but he's done well in those transitions. But I would love to see that. Him get kind of a middle-tier Xfinity ride, I think would be great for him. Get a mid-tier Xfinity ride for even just a few races, and I think he could put on a show. So I think that would be great. And again, I think it would be refreshing to see an F1 driver go to NASCAR. I mean, the last one that did was Kimi Räikkönen, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Jan Magnussen also took on NASCAR. Jacques Villeneuve, the big one. But, you know, again, I think it's just refreshing because we don't see many F1 guys want to go NASCAR racing. We see IndyCar drivers want to go NASCAR racing. I mean, Joseph Newgarden's talked about it for years. He wants to race at Bristol. We've seen, again, Sage Karam and Santino Ferrucci want to go over. So I think it's refreshing to see these open-wheel drivers want to try it. I, again, don't think it's the best of ideas, seeing how it works out. But, you know, I'm interested to see what Daniel Kvyat's going to do if he does get a chance to go over to NASCAR. And I think it would be a great idea for him to explore it, because I feel like there's more opportunities here than there are in F1, and I feel like that there's greater chances of success than there is over in F1 because of the fact F1 is very low, the competition gap is so spread out. Anyway, moving on, speaking of competition gaps, speaking of teams over in F1, Andretti Autosport has been exploring an F1 team purchase for the last few weeks now, and that those talks have picked up, mainly surrounding Alfa Romeo. And unfortunately, we got the news just a couple days ago that news has now, or that this deal has now fallen apart. So Michael Andretti will not be purchasing an F1 racing team. That's unfortunate. Michael Andretti, I mean, it's been said so many times that Michael Andretti has had the talent to go racing in F1, but they never gave him a chance to go do it. His dad raced in F1, of course. And I think F1's biggest regret is not having Michael Andretti as a driver. But the fact that he's not going to be an owner is a shame, because it's a shame, but at the same time, it's kind of good because it's kind of a money grab at the end of the day for new teams. I'm sure eventually they will get into F1. Maybe they'll purchase Haas. I could see that being more a possibility. But for now, it's honestly good that Michael Andretti is not getting involved in F1, because F1 is not a big sport. Again, the competition gap, I've said it so many times on the show that I don't care to repeat it. And to be honest, we all know why Andretti wanted to purchase it, because he wanted to put Colton Herta in one of the cars. He wanted to put Colton Herta in one of the F1 cars, which would have cleared up a spot in IndyCar. And of course, Colton Herta's big dream, just like Pato O'Ward, has been to go F1 racing. And it's a shame that Colton won't be able to chase his dreams just yet. I mean, maybe another team will step up and want him, but, obviously to stay in the Andretti fold would have been great. But, I think it's good that Colton, I think this extends Colton's residency in IndyCar. And again, I think he's better off staying there, because this new young core, Alex Palou proved it this season by winning the title. This young core of IndyCar drivers is so good and so competitive. That competition gap couldn't be any closer than it already is. And, Colton Herta, had he not gotten involved had he not been so inconsistent at some points in the middle of the season, had he not messed up at Nashville, you gotta imagine he would have been in this championship hunt. And if they can just put it all together, he will be an IndyCar champion. I guarantee you, with experience, he's going to be a multi-time champion in IndyCar. He will probably, if I had to guess, a 4-time champ in IndyCar by the time it's all said and done, if he stays put. So I think it's good that he's going to spend more time in IndyCar now, if, of course, the talks are dead for him going over there. But again, I've said so many times about the competition gap, I don't want to say it anymore. But again, that's my reasoning for why I'm happy Herta is, at least if he was going to go to the Andretti ride like it was rumored, I think it's good that he will stay around. And I hope he does. Same with Pato O'Ward. I hope both of them stay around because they're a part of a new generation of IndyCar drivers that are going to be dominant for the next handful of years. So I really hope they stick around. I mean, obviously chase your dreams, but understand that this is not an easy dream to achieve. I mean, you're going against... if you get a Mercedes ride, you're in good shape, but that's not going to happen. Anyway, so that's just my thoughts right there on that. I don't want to dwell on this too long. Again, everyone knows my opinions on F1 by now. So let's move on here to the picks at Phoenix. Truck Series, I got John Hunter Nemechek. I think he's going to win the title. I think he's going to win the race. So, full disclosure, all my picks, I think whoever wins the race is going to win whoever wins the championship is going to win the race. So, it'll save a little time, but at the same time, that's just kind of how it works at the championship races. Xfinity Series, I got AJ Allmendinger. He's been dominant all year. I think he's going to close it out with the championship, and I sure hope he does. Cup Series at Phoenix, obviously my heart wants to say Chase Elliott because I want to see Chase become a 2-time champion. I am a Chase Elliott fan, but he hasn't been as good as the 5 car. Neither is Denny Hamlin, neither is Martin Truex. So that said, Kyle Larson is the the best one here. It's his to lose. Kyle Larson's going to win the Cup Championship, and he's going to win at Phoenix in the season finale 500. Those are my picks. Again, we want to thank you guys for watching. A reminder, next Tuesday will be our final show. Of course, next Tuesday is November 9th. It'll be our season finale show. We will discuss Phoenix. We will discuss some of the new silly season news that comes out in this week. But after this, we will be on hiatus until February. Just because, again, there's no racing action going on, no big racing action going on, really, other than F1. And it's pointless just to make a 10-minute video about F1 when I want to have a half-hour show here, or half-hour worth of content, or close to it, 20-30 minutes in that frame. So it's ultimately in the best interest for all of us to just say, let's put the show on hiatus. We'll come back in February. Of course, I've documented that. We will be back in February. I believe one of the first weekends in February we'll be back to get you guys ready for the Clash, to get you guys ready for the 500. So stay tuned for that. We might do a special for the 24 hours of Daytona. Stay tuned to our Discord and our social media for any updates on that. So again, next Tuesday, final show until February, possibly January if we decide to do a 24-hour show. And then, of course, a reminder once again, I know it's November 2nd. I still got the beard. I assure you I'm recording this on Sunday, October 31st. But my beard is long gone while you guys are watching this. So join our fight this November. Of course, again, we are fundraising for cancer awareness. noshave.org/team/the Tinkle group. Be sure to donate. Help us tinkle on this cancer. Or help us tinkle on cancer this November by donating to our team. That's all I got for you guys this week. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked what you saw, please be sure to share the video and like it and subscribe to us. And I will be back with you on Sunday morning for Tinkle Sports Talk. If you don't watch that, I'll be back with you guys next Tuesday for the season finale of Out of Turn 4. Until then, guys, goodbye, everyone.